To my understanding, because that's what he said. He said he brought that he didn't want to be with Krissy at the end of 2025. So if Krissy is just now getting the information that my husband is telling me that there is something wrong with the marriage, the first thing, and thank you for the likes, the first thing that she should do is figure out what's the problem. But he was judge, lawyer, and executioner. He said, I'm ready to move on. And that alone makes me believe that that affair did not start at the end of 2025. He had to see you. That's one thing Desmond needs to understand. That is one thing Desmond needs to understand. We see you, boo-boo. We see that you were jealous of your wife, because she was the one getting asked to fashion shows, getting dressed in fancy clothes, getting all the followers on social media. And yes, I think he has a restaurant. So, okay, I will respect a black man doing his thing, you making your own money. Cool. However, what I do know is from content, there's a love me, love me, love me. Hey y'all, so I am here to have a conversation about some relationship stuff that I've been seeing in the media over the last 24 hours. It's been a very dynamic 24 hours, especially if you are into relationship content. Now, if you are new to my page, you may or may not know that I am married, but I don't really talk about my husband except for like referring to I'm about to cook dinner, or my husband did this or did that. But I'm a firm believer that you do not bring your person on social media, reality TV, any of that, just because we all know sadness, violence, cheating, all that sells a whole lot more at a higher rate than love and all of that. Because for some reason, like social media, they don't think that they can get it, or they have had trauma around it, and so they are not as supportive to loving relationships as they are to those dynamic and drama-filled relationships. And if you think I'm lying, if you're around my age, that means you're from the love and hip-hop era. Okay, Mimi and Stevie J were in love until Jocelyn came. And once Stevie J was made public that he was cheating on Mimi, he got more fame, more notoriety because he was with Jocelyn. Okay, and so he chose the money. And I mean, his life went down the hole. You know, he always tried to chase and get back that Mimi love. He tried to get it back with Faith Evans, other women that he dated, but he could not find that original love. And I'm definitely going to have a conversation on the grass is never greener on the other side. Okay, let me back up. I don't feel like you should stay with somebody who is abusive or disrespectful or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people are chasing perfection in their relationships, and then they're getting surprised when no one can provide you that perfection. Even the side piece can pretend to be so perfect, but of course anybody can be perfect for 20% of your attention or 20% of your time. But who are they when they got gas at night? Who are they when they snore? Who are they when they get sick? Who are they when they lose a relative? Who are they when the kid gets sick? Who are they when they lose a job? There is a lot of peace and security in I only see you on one day a week, or we escape to a vacation and I can be all freaked out for you for this vacation. But who's doing that 24/7? Or I can be real nice for you. Like, for example, most of us are real nice at work because we know we got to be there for them 8 hours. If we had to be there, sleep, and live at our job, I feel like a lot of our real personalities would come out, because you can only be like something, a fake imitation of yourself for so long. Your real you has to come out. And that's why, like, I be having reservations for people who meet and get married. Hey, Kaden, I have real reservations for people who meet and get married in like 3 months. You don't know who that person is in 3 months. Like, you still faking it. Your breath still smell good every single morning. Your hair probably always done in those 3 months. I feel like you need to be with somebody for at least a year before the engagement come, because, and this is going to be, you know, Tyler Perry's in the news for like bad things, but one of the things he said in one of his plays was, you need to see somebody for 4 seasons. Okay, because so much can happen within those 4 seasons. You know, some people get seasonal depression. Some people want to be outside in the summertime, and those personalities can really shift. Kaden, I am doing really good. How are you, honey? Okay, so let's get into the tea of what's been going on in social media, because this couple I never bought into. What are you up to, Kaden? So if you're not on Instagram or you don't follow the Shade Room, there's been a couple who's just got a divorce. Their name is Krissy, and I want to say the guy name is Desmond. So from my understanding, because I have been seeing them in my algorithm, but I haven't been following them. They will pop up as random, you know, algorithm or For You page videos, but I never went ahead and followed them. And I really don't follow people who have relationship content, because all that stuff is fake. Nobody's relationship is perfect. Not Michelle Obama, not Joseph and Mary, not your mama and daddy. Like, nobody's relationship is perfect. So when people push out relationship content, I always get cringe, because if anybody who is married or anybody who's been in a long-term relationship can attest to, there's not going to be a situation where every day is going to be perfect. Y'all are going to fight. Y'all are going to be irritated. Like, for example, there's not a person on this planet other than my husband that I speak to every single day, because there's no way that you always want to be in constant communication with that person. Even those people who have like close relationships with their parents, is you can only sustain constant communication for so long, right? And so let's say you have the healthiest relationship, you are still going to be like, dang, you are in my space. Like, eventually it's going to be like, can you go over there? No matter how much you love somebody. So anyway, like, the people who be pushing out relationship content, I never just buy into it, because it's like, y'all faking it for the camera. And who are we really faking to? And maybe it's because I'm older now. Like, you know, I've been married for 3, almost 4 years. I've been with my husband for 5, almost 6 years. So it's like, who are you perping for? Are you perping for the young folks, showing them that this is what you can get? Because ain't no way you perping for somebody around my age who's been in a relationship. Like, I've been there, done it, and seen it. Like, I know the stuff isn't perfect. Okay, but anyway, before I get too distracted, let's go into what we've seen on social media. So the first thing I saw, let me pull it up. I got my trusty dusty laptop right here. The first thing I saw, and we're going to talk about 3 couples today. We're going to talk about, hold on, because everybody had a think piece, and I just pulled up all the things that were interesting to me. We're going to talk about Candice Dillard she was on Real Housewives of Potomac, and her husband, apparently they're splitting. I don't know, I might talk about Candice and Todd because they're splitting. We're definitely going to talk about Krissy and Desmond, because she just filed for divorce because of infidelity. And I'm cracking up because I can't find it. So let me go to Instagram and find the post. But you know, the Shade Room be posting so much stuff that junk might not even be on anywhere near the Shade Room anymore. Hey y'all, what's up? Okay, let me log into Instagram. I thought I screenshotted it, which it probably is, but it's on my phone, and I don't want to pull that up right now, because then I'm going to have to hop off the phone, y'all. I'm going to have to hop off live. Okay, so I'm logged into Instagram now. Let me go to the shade room. Oh, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the girl who just got sentenced to 80 years in jail because she shot her boyfriend's girlfriend. So with that, I cannot believe you killed somebody over them choosing somebody over you. Like, now you're going to jail. 2 people are dead. So families are distressed and tore up. No, I'm no longer at UPSM, honey. Who is this? I can't see who you are from that little picture. Okay, so let's go find the shade room. Oh, hey, you left, girl. No, I am no longer at UPSM High. I teach at another school now. Okay, y'all, I can't really find it right now because you know the shade room be posting out so much content or pushing out so much content that it's like the stuff will be missing in like 1 second. So I'm gonna go with this post right here. It says Desmond Scott releases statement after wife Krissy files for divorce. I made choices that I am not proud of. We gonna take this little statement because first of all, this statement was very offensive. So for backstory on this couple, they've been together since they were 14 years old, and I think they have 2 kids now. And I just could not imagine, like, I pray I never get to the point where I be with my man for that many years and you disrespect me to the point of you putting out this little feminine, what is it called? It just gave very sassy. It just gave very sassy, and I hate putting those type of terms on a black man, but it just really gave very offensive and sassy. So this was the statement. I want to begin by apologizing to Krissy, our family, and everyone who has been impacted by the public attention surrounding this situation. I know this news has been disappointing for many, and I'm truly sorry for the hurt it has caused. So from that first paragraph, he's sorry that people got hurt, but he is not sorry for what he has done. Let me just keep on going. Krissy is the mother of my children, and that will always come first. So for me, just reading that sentence, he no longer puts her in the wife category in his mind. He has already moved on. And I hate how men do that. Like, sometimes I hate when people do it, because I'm not going to put it on a gender. I despise when people, instead of closing one chapter, which is the right thing to do, they move on spiritually and with their feelings to find something else and then close the chapter with that previous person. And I feel like people do that for security because they are scared of being alone and going through that grieving process. And so the individual who they need to process things and they weren't as quick to give up on a relationship, they're left confused because they did not know that their partner had already closed their relationship without knowledge to them. And I know people will be like, well, he said he want to move on. If you're not married, you don't understand. Especially being with somebody for that long, you have arguments. And so is it you're supposed to move on as soon as you have an argument with somebody? You're supposed to be like, okay, we argue today over the toothpaste cap being off, the clothes being on the floor, so let's run to divorce. Like, marriage is a covenant. You're not supposed to get divorced. And so now Krissy looked thirsty because she did not accept him saying, I would like to end my relationship. Okay, I was just on the first sentence of the second paragraph. I remain fully committed to being an active, present, and loving parent to our boys, as I have always been. Nobody, to my understanding, has taken away from that man's fatherhood. We are saying that you are being a trash husband with the current things that you have done that has been brought to light. Krissy and I faced challenges and made sincere efforts to work through them. Toward the end of 2025, I wanted to separate. Okay, so towards the end, so we're not saying that this happened in June, right? Because that's the middle. So we saying the last quarter, from September to December, he decided unilaterally that he would like to no longer be married. And so for most women who has been with somebody for that long, it takes more than 3 months to come to terms with, oh, this man really don't want me anymore. You're probably in the mindset of, he's just mad, this is something we can go to counseling for, etc., etc., etc. So within these 3 months, if we're taking him at face value, he told this woman he doesn't want to be with her anymore. She denied. He went out and cheated. And now we're finding out in January. Like, that is very much boom, boom, bing, bang, boom. If we are believing what he says. But me being someone who has been around people for a long time, I believe that man was cheating before he had that conversation with her. I think that man was cheating well into the beginning of 2025 or even before then. And then he decided to have a conversation with her at the end of 2025. Krissy was probably caught off guard and thought that it was something they can work through. And then she probably found out that he was cheating on her, that he had already stepped out. And then she was like, well, we might as well go ahead and get divorced. Like, I just don't believe that as soon as he had a conversation with her, then he went out and had an affair. I'm sorry. I don't even think one night stands happen that quick, because to be married to somebody that long, and let's say you have been faithful that entire time, there are a lot of conscious decisions that have to take place to text somebody, to go out with somebody, to go to their house or go to a hotel or go to have them come over. Like, there's a lot of conscious decisions that have to take place for somebody to cheat. So I do not believe that he had the conversation with Krissy in September. In between September, October, November, and December, that's when the affair happened. That affair happened before he brought the conversation to Krissy. He brought the conversation to Krissy after he decided that he may want to move forward with the person that he cheated on. Okay, so we on the third paragraph. Krissy and I faced challenges and made sincere efforts to work through them. Toward the end of 2025, I wanted to separate, and I had conversations with Krissy regarding this. Okay, so now we're moving with the idea that as soon as one of the partners say, I would no longer want to be with you, the other person just needs to accept that? Or are we supposed to figure out what is the problem? Figure out, can we work through this? Do we need counseling? We got 2 kids and almost 2 decades of marriage. And as soon as you come to me and say, I no longer want to be with you, I'm supposed to be like, oh, okay, let me move on. Like, that's not what I thought marriage was. And I'm pretty sure Krissy was sitting there with like, okay, to my understanding, because that's what he said. He said he brought that he didn't want to be with Krissy at the end of 2025. So if Krissy is just now getting the information that my husband is telling me that there is something wrong with the marriage, the first thing, and thank you for the likes, the first thing that she should do is figure out what's the problem. But he was judge, lawyer, and executioner. He said, I'm ready to move on. And that alone makes me believe that that affair did not start at the end of 2025. He had already went through the grieving process. He went through the process of saying, I am going through with this. And then he went ahead and cheated. That did not happen in September. I don't know when it happened, but it did not happen at the end of 2025. Okay. During this period, I made choices that I am not proud of. You're not proud that it was brought to light. Now, I don't know if proud is the adjective that I would use in this, but you were fully compliant. I'll say that. Like I said, At 28 years old, I have known a lot of people in reality TV, because I don't hang around with cheaters. If you will cheat on your partner, you will lie, kill, and steal from me. And I believe that. So I will say I have seen a lot of reality TV. I have heard of cheaters. And one thing I know, and just as a person who has made it to this age and have had a lot of life experience, you did not wake up and fall into the bed. There were a lot of steps that led, there were a lot of steps that led to that infidelity. So while you might not be proud that your image is now distorted because we see you. That's one thing Desmond needs to understand. That is one thing Desmond needs to understand. We see you, boo-boo. We see that you were jealous of your wife, because she was the one getting asked to fashion shows, getting dressed in fancy clothes, getting all the followers on social media. And yes, I think he has a restaurant. So, okay, I will respect a black man doing his thing, you making your own money. Cool. However, what I do know is from content, there's a low overhead. So whatever money he touching, she could be touching way more at a way lower overhead. So the profit is more. So I think that man was jealous of her success. Somebody said, my wife always said that he was becoming jealous and more annoyed over time. I 100% agree, because I've been seeing videos. Of people like putting the, compilation, because everybody got a think piece on this, because the people had millions of followers. I don't know how I have made it not following them, but they have had millions of followers, so everybody got a think piece, and here I am putting my little thought into it.
Have you noticed the impatient look Desmond Scott gives Krissy Sarah? 3 details prove that Desmond has already fallen out of love. Recently, Krissy officially filed for divorce from her childhood sweetheart and husband of 11 years, citing Desmond's infidelity during their marriage. In fact, keen-eyed fans had already noticed the subtle changes between the two. In the couple's daily life videos released before the divorce, Krissy is always cheerful and playful. However, Desmond's response is not his usual affectionate smile, but instead a slight furrowed brow and a gaze that drifts away in impatience. This wasn't an isolated incident. Fans analyzed the shift and noticed that Desmond's gaze went from a deeply affectionate look in 2024 to a reluctantly indifferent look in 2025. His body language also shifted from being close and engaged to leaning slightly away, a subtle sign of emotional distance. Second, in their shared social media posts, Desmond has always presented himself as a gentleman, while Krissy has become increasingly arrogant and assertive. As time passed, Desmond seems to have intentionally distanced himself from Krissy, revealing his growing indifference towards their marriage. Lastly, the most obvious change occurred a few months ago when Desmond quietly removed his...
That man was jealous of her success. And there's a fine line of success and the dynamic of a marriage. But that's not something I'm going to touch on right now. I want to give some thoughts to that, and then we'll talk about that from a married perspective. Okay, let's continue his little statement, because his statement was such a cop-out. I'm so irritated with it. So it said, I shared this with her directly and personally, and ultimately we decided to divorce. This is giving, she didn't break up with me, y'all. I broke up with her. I hate him. I'm so mad. Like, if this was my man and this was my situation, do not bring your light-skinned butt to this social media platform that you probably wasn't even serious about until you saw the money that I can get from it, and try to clear the air and say you broke up with me before I broke up with you, or you initiated this divorce. Boy, I will hit you up beside your head. Somebody said, of course he's trying to save face. That's what happens when you get caught. Exactly. And it takes away from the idea that you love me. Like, you've been with me for almost 2 decades. And you won't take accountability that you have broken the union that was ordained by God. You would rather save face in the public. I hope this man don't think that he's going to have as much clout as he had with Christy, because the only woman that's going to follow him are the ones that wanted what Christy had. Because I don't know what it is, like sometimes when you are married, single women will come after your man, not because they really want your man, it's because they want your lifestyle. They want what they see that man providing for you. And it can be the most shallow thing. Oh, he get her nails done every week. He get her hair done every week. He give her a shopping budget. I want some of that. And instead of going and finding and building that relationship with their own man, they want to take yours. And so sometimes men will think that these women are coming after them because they're so handsome and they so player and they got a little bit of paper. Honey, them women want to be your wife. And you thinking that they chasing after you because you got all these accolades, and they really chasing after what this woman got, because some women really get validation and I took what she thought she had. All right, let me finish up this statement because I'm getting hot. Okay. I ask for privacy and compassion as we navigate this difficult chapter of our lives. I'm not giving you that. Nobody is going to give you privacy after you have put your whole relationship in the public eye. We already see the inside of y'all bathroom. We have seen the inside of your kitchen. And now because y'all going through a divorce, you think you deserve some privacy. Baby, I'm about to put up a camera in your house. Like, that don't make sense to me. You ask for privacy. No. You have put it all on Front Street. So now we're going to see how this play out. Because at this point, you know, you giving us the foresight on how hopefully not to get through this, or at the bare minimum you giving us entertainment. Okay, so the last paragraph says, thank you to everyone who has supported us over the years. I'm grateful for that support and will continue sharing my love for cooking and the things that inspire me. I hope you will continue that journey with me. No, boo-boo, no, I'm not, because your food ain't that good. I've seen those videos. Okay, and maybe it's because God has blessed me to go and experience international cuisine. If I'm domestic, I don't have to go to Texas Roadhouse. You know, I might go to Adelina's or Fogo de Chao or a steakhouse. But I like Waffle House and I like Coney Island too. But of all these restaurants I've been to, the food don't be that good. And sometimes when you go to an expensive restaurant, that food be even more bland because they more focused on the presentation and the technique of cooking that food than they are on the taste. Somebody said love equals consideration. He doesn't love his wife. Love isn't jealousy. Okay? And that's biblical. In 2 Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, love holds no record, etc., etc., etc. The Bible literally gives us a blueprint of what love is supposed to look like. And he had none of that. He probably fell out of love with his wife a long time. Well, he had to. Because like I said, what he's giving off is that he's a coward. He's giving off that he didn't even have the confidence to step out of the marriage, close the marriage, grieve the marriage, and heal from the marriage before seeking somebody else. It's giving. He did all of those things while keeping Christy close. He went out and found somebody else, did the do, built a connection with that person. And then when he figured, okay, I can leave my wife and still have you. I never have to go through the healing process, the transition process. I can just go from one situation to another. He definitely stopped loving Christy a long time ago. Because I don't care how many arguments you have with your partner, as a human being, you took vows to this person. This person gave you children. And instead of giving them the time to process, to question, to try to repair. You did all of this while still being married. And that's why I do not respect anybody who cheat. Cheating is not an accident. You don't fall into somebody's bed. You don't fall into a text communication. All of these are very conscious decisions. And there's so many minute decisions that lead to infidelity that I would never believe that it was a mistake. Every step was a conscious decision. Okay, so that's enough with Desmond and Krissy until some more information fall out. Let's go into Candice and I don't remember her husband's name. Let's see if it say it in the post. Alright, so this one says, and this is about Candice Dillard and her husband with the brown thing. So Giselle said. Alright, the post says the $10 million marital oh, okay, the $10 million marital meltdown. Candice Dillard Bassett dumps Chris. That's the man's name. I'm glad they put that name because I don't remember the name. A cruel illusion. Candice Dillard has officially pulled the trigger, incinerating her marriage after uncovering a secret $10 million debt. Chris Bassett reportedly burned through her behind her back. The Real Housewife of Potomac star is shocking fans by confirming her ride or die loyalty was nothing but a hollowed out lie, leaving her preparing for a brutal divorce. Who paying that? Maybe they touching so much paper that $10 million might just be like 6 months of work. Who paying that? How did you get to 10? See, y'all, I just screenshotted this. I didn't read this before I hopped on this live. Who paying $10 million? That is more than most people's life insurance policy. So you telling me I can't even poison you and use your death benefit to cover your debt? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I did not expect for this to read $10 million in debt with your white. Y'all, I am shook. I am shook. The fallout is catastrophic. This $10 million betrayal confirms the chef Chris. It's something about them chefs. Let me find out that the chefs are the new F-boys. Persona was a financial black hole, a source close to the carnage. The descriptive words in this post is hilarious. The carnage revealed the cold-blooded truth. The air is thick with fury. Candice realized she wasn't building a future. She was funding a disaster. Y'all, they say like the biggest thing to break down a marriage is finances and lack of communication. Baby, I don't even know how to count to 10 million. Finding the debt trap has turned her love into pure venom, blowing their marriage to hell as she moves to protect her coins before the creditors descend. The scandal exposes the colossal deception at the heart of their home, confirming that Candice is finally ready to execute the exit strategy of a lifetime. The secret receipts of the $10 million spending spree. What you buying? What are you buying that costs $10 million? What are you purchasing? I am so confused and concerned, and I would be so upset. Baby, if we already $10 million in debt, when I tell you we will be $10,200,000 in debt by the time I will put every freaking piece of furniture in this house up beside your head. I will crash every car. I will flatten every tire. We will be at 10 million point two by the time I am done. I will be so hot. How are we paying $10 million back? And I say we because that's the thing with marriage. And he knows that with your non-working self. You were a house chef. At least Desmond had a restaurant, to my understanding. Chris worked from home and was a private chef. You ain't bringing in $10 million a year feeding people. So that's her reality TV money. Wow, wow. The secret receipts of the $10 million spending spree and Candice lethal divorce filing. See the full financial breakdown and the leaked hot mic reaction in the comments below. Baby, I don't need a... I am the hot mic. Here's the mic. Oh my God. And she just had that baby with that man, Lord. So now she getting off with $10 million in debt. So, you know, best case scenario is it's going to be a 50-50 debt, which means $5 million in debt when they divorce. Baby, that could deplete somebody's retirement, savings, bills. That woman can go for bankruptcy. Like, ooh, marriage can really be something dangerous if you marry the wrong person. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I am hurt for her. Okay, so the last relationship drama I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to put down this coffee. And y'all don't judge my hair. I just took out some knotless braids and I got a hair appointment today at 3. Okay, so don't judge my hair. But I had to get this video off before this hair appointment because I know I have been feeling so fatigued that if I did not go ahead and talk about this right now, I was not going to do it today and all this stuff will pass by. So I had to be consistent with y'all. The last situation I'm going to talk about happened right here in Detroit. And I love my city, but sometimes y'all are embarrassing as I don't know what. Okay, and I know things happen in other places, but since I am from here, it hurts me because when I lived in Texas for them 5 years, like, Detroit got such a bad rep because it can be so violent here and we have the reputation that we're short fused and violent. But what I will say about Detroit, and I would have to like stand 10 toes down in Texas, I've never been robbed in Detroit. I would say that unless you outside looking for that drama and that violence, you typically will not experience it. Like, I don't know that many people who are victims of random violence. In San Antonio, they will rob you just because they like your car. But what I would say about Detroit is most people here are touching paper. And so you can have a Range Rover, but that DoorDasher also got a Range Rover. So why do I want your Range Rover? I'm just going to get it how I live. But if you out here perping and in the streets, then, you know, yeah, you can get touched. Like, people are, life is cheap if you hanging around the wrong people. Okay, so the last story I'm talking about is this 23-year-old girl. She was dating this 27-year-old man. She thought that that was her boyfriend. And I'm going to say she thought that that was her boyfriend because she found her boyfriend in the car with another young lady. She was 25 years old. She found her boyfriend in the car with another young lady. And she ended up unaliving them with a gun, with a pow-pow. She fled the scene. The police found her at her home, took her without incident. When she went to court, it was pretty much open and closed. They tried to say it was a crime of passion. It can't really be a crime of passion if y'all not married, boo-boo. Like, boyfriend and girlfriend is really just a conversation. There's no laws behind it. Like, you know, the only people who cannot testify against each other are married people. Like, your parents can testify against you, your kids can testify against you, your best friend of 35 years can testify against you, but your spouse cannot be put on the stand against you. Okay. And so when somebody says that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, those are just words. And when people be like, oh, you cheated on me, but y'all just boyfriend and girlfriend, they didn't cheat on you. Not in the eyes of the law, not in the eyes of the Bible. And, you know, everyone thinks of like back in the day, we used to have a thing called common law marriage. Look it up. Common law marriage is no longer a thing. If it is, it might be a thing in like 6 to 10 states anymore. Common law marriage is not even recognized in majority of the states of the United States. So this girl shot this man, and the girl got caught the same day, to my understanding. And the court hearing was so quick that it was basically open and closed. Like, the people on the jury didn't even have to talk about much. Like, it wasn't even like a 24-hour conversation. Like, that girl's just serving 80 years for a man that did not love you. You embarrassed. And that's why, like, as a teacher, I don't always just kick students out because they have like a moment of aggression. Like, I try my hardest to explain to my students why what you are doing is crossing the line. And a lot of the times people don't be angry. Sometimes they be hurt, confused, embarrassed, full of anxiety, overstimulated. Their nervous system is overwhelmed. But a lot of those things manifest as anger, because from a kid's perspective, when they see their mom yelling, they don't recognize that their mom can be sad, or their mom could be an introvert getting pushed into a situation where they constantly have to interact with their kids. Like, people take away the human aspect of parentage all the time. But to a kid, it's just like, oh, my mom is mad again. Your mom could be frustrated because she just worked 50 hours this week and she still doesn't have enough money to pay the light bill and buy groceries. Your mom could be frustrated because she went 50-50 on a baby, but she covering 90% of the load. Or vice versa with a single dad. And so we have a lot of children who are emotionally immature, intellectually immature because of COVID, because of a teacher shortage, and they're going into the community being angry citizens. And so beyond teaching my kids math curriculum, I am also teaching my kids how to be citizens to my best ability, because I used to be a mini crash out, because I also didn't understand how to communicate. I didn't understand what were these emotions. Like, what I had to learn about myself through therapy is I don't like loud noises. Okay, loud noises overstimulate me. So when I was in school, I would just start snapping on somebody because why you being loud first thing in the morning? My mind hasn't even caught up with the fact that I had to catch 3 buses to school when I was in high school. And then when I got put into foster care, I still had to walk 2 miles to school every day. And so I had to wake myself up because nobody cared about me going to school. Like, the fact that I went to school was by my own merit and my own I wanted to get out of poverty. And so between me having to wake myself up, get my own clothes ready, for a lot of years I had to take 3 buses. And anybody from Detroit who know how the buses work in Detroit, I had to leave my house like 3 hours before school to make sure if this bus running late, I can catch the next bus. If this bus ran off schedule, I still had time to catch the next bus. And so when I got to school and it was some ghetto girl in the hallway yelling or complaining, I'm like, girl, I'm about to cuss you out. And so the thing is, I'm sharing all that not to like say my situation is irregular, because that's a lot of kids' situation to this day in Detroit. I'm sharing that to say I experienced those things, but I did not know that this is why I am quote unquote angry. I was never angry. I was tired. I was hurt. I was confused. And it took me going to college going to therapy because I no longer wanted to be that angry crash out. My first therapist was a white woman. And I went to that white woman because I wanted her to teach me, how are you navigating life so delicately? And it wasn't until like I was actually telling her my life experiences that I realized that it was not the norm, and it was not fair for a child to have to take 3 buses. It was not normal for a child to get verbally abused by the mother. But because I'm from Detroit, and I know so many of my friends who we were catching that bus together. We were walking to school together. But that still doesn't make it the norm because it's the majority of your community experiencing those things. And so when I'm in my classroom and I have a student that is expressing frustration through profanity, I take a second before I had to write them up and we try to get some understanding. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed our little chit chat. We talked about hey honey, we talked about 3 marriages that are about to be divorces. I'm gonna go ahead and sign on off because I need to go ahead and cook for my husband because I still got mine. And I'm gonna send my love to Desmond and Krissy, to Candice and Chris, and to that young girl who now got 80 years in jail over a boyfriend. Listen. Oh, thank you, Serenity. I love you too. And girl, when you turn 18, or you can have your mama bring you over here, okay? I forgot what I was gonna say. Thank you, girl. Child, this girl threw me off my little rant. Oh, for the young lady who now has to serve 80 years in jail because a man did not tell her the truth. That man probably made her feel like she was the only one, and all that shock and embarrassment drove her to commit murder. I just want our young girls to love ourselves. There will always be another man. Baby, there is always another man or another woman if you swing that way. I never understood, like, you can cuss somebody out, but why would you ruin your life? This man is showing you that he does not value you. So move along and get with his friend if you want to. Alright, y'all, I'm about to go cook, and I got a hair appointment in 2 hours, so I gotta go finish out my day. I hope you enjoyed this live. If you are new here, go ahead and follow me, and the full video, if you missed some of it, will be on my YouTube channel, Ashley Riddle 313. And will always be Serenity. Bye, girl.